Really clean trade actually here in London on GA this morning, but it was actually buys, not sells. Because you remember the zone I said if we break above there, then I am switching my bias to bullish. So at that point there, I was only looking for sells. But because price broke above here, started trading above here, buys was the only option at that point. So that was in Asian. If I go over to the lower time frames, that was in Asian that it broke us above the zone right there. So just before London started, we were at that point. So a zone you'll remember from last week, a very strong zone, which we caught sells off on Thursday, was this zone right here. Sharpen up a little bit. Was Wednesday and Thursday's high, was also this zone from the previous week, Thursday, Friday. So that was a clear zone for last week on London. So it was either that we were looking to buy from, which wasn't too far off, but it was either that, or it could have been this zone right here, or it could have been Asia low down there. So we'd switch to buys because of what had happened in Asian. So knowing this, if I throw it onto the 5 minute, instantly we could straight away just be looking for a bounce off of this zone. Because if you remember, every time we have tapped into this zone, 1, 2, and then this was the breakout, but then 3, 4, we have rejected this zone. It's a clear London session zone. We're now in bullish structure. So if I play out the candles, instantly price drops into the zone, and then we get this right here, which is a super strong rejection, a very strong rejection candle there. So from that point, very clear buys from there. You stop just below the zone. Now your target, for the target, we had on Monday, Tuesday last week, we had that London zone right there. So you would have targeted that London zone. It was a nice 61 pip trade this. The problem with this is the risk to reward. And that's because this 5 minute rejection candle was so big. So you're squeezing about a 1.5 risk to reward out of this one. Because this 5 minute candle right here was so big, this was like 30 pip candle, but it was definitely a signal to buy, but it was just not the greatest risk to reward. So what you can do is you can wait for these pullbacks here. So once you see the price is starting to drop a bit, after you've seen this, so this is a clear rejection candle. Once you see prices start to drop a bit, you can get to buying. So anywhere kind of in that candle, and as you can see, that will bump the risk to reward up. But like I said, you can either get on the close there as long as your risk to reward isn't below a 1.1. But yeah, if you didn't want to take that because of the risk to reward, you can just wait for pullbacks like that. Still wasn't the nicest risk to reward, but it was a very clean trade. If I just play out what happens, price then comes back for another retest of the zone. Again, you could have got even lower down there, and then it taps into that London zone, and from that point, yeah, kind of messes around and rejects. So that was actually a very clean trade on GA because of what happened in Asian. So Asian actually flipped our bias, and then in London, we got the opportunity to get in.